response line, email us, or connect with us on social media. This is Rogers TV, Grey County.
Hey everyone, I'm Christina of Homebodies Fitness. Join me for your at-home fitness routine. Let's all get fit together. Only on Rogers TV, Homebodies Fitness.
I'm Mallory, and I was walking home one night when an impaired driver hit me. He had been overserved in 2 bars before getting behind the wheel. If the servers would have called him a cab instead of serving him more alcohol, my life would be the same as what it used to be. I think servers play the biggest role in keeping us safe because it's up to them what state the person's in when they leave. Refusing service isn't personal, it's the law.
This is Rogers TV, Grey County.
Hello and welcome to this special edition Rogers TV program, COVID-19. We are here to try and provide you with information about resources and services available into your community. And my name is Carol Merton. Before I introduce our guest today, however, I want to just give you a little bit of current information. For those of you who watch the program, you know I like to do a little bit of a thank you at the very beginning. And today I want to announce that Rogers TV program and Rogers Sports and Media is launching a campaign called Hearts and Smiles to Say Thank You. So they want to identify how much they appreciate the frontline healthcare workers, and definitely today we know that it's International Nurses Day. So Rogers is selling T-shirts and masks, and the funds are going to the Frontline Fund, which through hospital foundations provides supplies and support for healthcare professionals who put themselves ahead of others to ensure our safety and well-being. So certainly you can go online and look up the costing to purchase a T-shirt and mask combination, or a 10-pack of masks by going to www.heartsandsmiles.ca. So certainly our frontline warriors continue to have our backs through COVID-19, and Rogers Sports and Media want to say it's time that we have theirs. Thank you to all of our frontline workers. And thank you to Sue Paterson, Mayor Sue Paterson, who is here joining us. Sue is the mayor of Hanover, and I have asked Sue to join us today to talk a little bit about what's happening in Hanover, but also about the recovery centers, the community recovery centers, and just giving us an update on how the community is coping and how, Sue, you as a mayor are coping with all of these changes through COVID-19. So thank you for joining us today on the program.
It's a pleasure to be here.
My pleasure. So I'm wondering, Sue, where you'd like to begin. Obviously I have questions, but quite honestly, I'd much rather hear you speak than me. So I'm wondering where you'd like to begin.
So if you're okay, I'd like to introduce myself and then just tell you a little bit about Hanover. I'm not sure everybody knows we're in the southern part of Grey County, so maybe people don't know that much about Hanover or what we do down here. So first of all, my name is Sue Paterson. I'm the mayor of Hanover, and I've lived in Hanover over 55 years. That number is getting bigger and bigger all the time. I attended public school and high school here, and I could probably tell you any backyard to show you what's happening when the planning applications come through, because when you're a young kid, you seem to know the area quite well. And very interesting when you talked about supporting hospital foundations. Prior to being the mayor and coming on council, I worked for the Hanover and District Hospital Foundation for almost 15 years. So I am a certified fundraiser, and I know how important it is to support our healthcare systems, specifically our hospitals and the equipment and the people who work in it. So I was elected in 2003 as a councillor. I was a councillor for 11 years. Elected mayor in 2014, and this is my second term as mayor. So you might say I have some experience. Some people call it seasoned, but you do carry that continuity with you. So we always look for that when we're making decisions, because you want to make the best decision for your community. So that's a little bit about me, and now about our town. Hanover has a population of 8,100 people, and we provide retail, commercial, and professional services to over 35,000 people within a 20-minute drive. So that makes us very unique. We're progressive, we're open, but we have this draw of 20 minutes out with a lot of people. We're the regional hub for the southern part of Grey County. So our landmass is just under 10 square kilometers, which is 0.2% of Grey County. So we are very small, but we do a lot within those 10 kilometers. So we also have 15% of the county's jobs. We have, next to Owen Sound, we have a total of 6,688 jobs here in Hanover. So we're a busy little town. We've got people coming to town to use the services and lots happening. But I don't know if you want to hear about all the things. Maybe we'll talk about that later. Some of our, like the casino, the racetrack, things that are right in town within walking distance.
So I certainly do want to hear about that because COVID-19 may change how we do business in the future, including, the casinos and the racetrack. First, would you mind talking a little bit about the recovery centers, the community recovery centers, and also what your plans may be? We're all hoping we don't need those. The medical officers of health have been working so hard to flatten the curve, but I'm wondering if you can talk about that initiative, and then, we will also move on to other. I just want to clarify, you're not just the mayor, though. You're on the Board of Health, are you not?
I am the vice chair on the Board of Health. I also sit on the Police Services Board and on the Saugeen Conservation Authority on that board. So
certainly, as we talk about COVID-19, you come from a variety of perspectives. So,
and over the years, I've sat on like the library board. That was always a treat to sit on the library board. I don't think people realize how important the library is to every community. So that's a good committee. The Planning and Advisory Committee is very good to get your feet wet, to see what happens in a community, how those applications work for residents and everything. So I encourage everyone to volunteer for any of these committees if they come open in your communities. So let me tell you about the recovery centers. There are two recovery centers, one at the Davidson Center in Kincardine, and the other one is at the P&H Center here in Hanover. The P&H Center is our recreation facility. So attached to it, we have an aquatic center. So we have a huge indoor swimming pool, with a sauna and an adult and tots pool and everything. So on the arena floor is the recovery center. So a little different than the field hospital that's in Owen Sound. So what it is for, there's 50 beds, and it is on standby and will only be operational if there is surge capacity in our hospital or area hospitals. So it's designed to provide additional patient support. There is no critical care or high-level care in these recovery centers. So we did have a retired physician, Dr. Neil Stretch, who was our technical advisor. He's very involved with Doctors Without borders, so very used to setting up facilities. So he was a great support. And I do want to thank Public Health and, of course, Bruce Power, because they were huge in support and sponsorship and everything. We also had great community support. We had different organizations that came in and set up the beds and the partitions. And we had local businesses that donated their services for electricity. And you may know that an arena is, I've been told it's similar to a barn. If it's cold outside, the barn is cold inside. If it's hot outside, the barn is warm inside. So we had to get creative, and thank goodness to our director of Parks and Rec and our facilities manager. They talked with some business operators, and there is now heat being put through the arena floor rather than cold for the ice. So it's quite nice in there. So it would be very comfortable if you were a patient in there. But here's hoping we never have to use it. But we are ready. And the way it came together was so wonderful when you think of how people just stepped up to the plate and not knowing that this would ever be used, but did step up and say, we're ready.
So I'm hearing you say that the funding for this came from a variety of places then.
Bruce Power.
Okay, Bruce Power. Yeah. So we're hoping that obviously it's not needed. What will happen when we're on the other side, whenever that happens, and we're able to be resuming life in maybe slightly different way? What will happen to all of that equipment? What's the plan?
So I did ask the question, when do these centers when do you dismantle them?
Yes.
And normally that's in the third stage. We have 3 stages for reopening the economy. So when we're sure that there isn't going to be a surge or a second wave, then those both centers can be dismantled and put away for future use if needed. So they can be stored very easily. We'll have to find a good spot for it, but they will be kept within this community and stored for future use, whether it's in Hanover or another community.
Right. So they'll be up for a while longer.
Yes.
Yeah, because we're flattening the curve, but we're just not sure what's going to happen as people become out and about a bit more once the restrictions are lifted. I think there's a lot of holding of breath these days.
I know. People need to be super cautious. I keep saying to people, assume that everyone has the potential to carry the virus. So if you keep that in your mind when you're out and about, you will follow all the directives that the public officials have given us, and you'll keep yourself and your family safe. So, physical distancing, wash your hands, keep washing your hands. Today when I brought the mail in, I washed my hands before I picked up the mail. I washed my hands after I read the mail. Even though, you don't think it's there, it could be. So just assume it is.
Yeah, and that's really good advice, actually. And that's a perspective I hadn't heard about, just assume that, and to be, so that's really helpful, because just because some of the restrictions might start to be lifted does not imply that the virus is not there or the carrier potential isn't there. And that's excellent, excellent advice. How is your community dealing with businesses that aren't able to operate? And I mean, it must have a huge impact.
So during this lockdown, I have a dog, and I've been able to walk the dog more often and farther. So I do walk uptown, and I walked up one side and down the other side, and every business has a sign on their door explaining they're either closed or how to reach them. So you could either do it online or takeout at the time. And more are getting involved with the takeout now and curbside delivery. So, and our town has started a recovery for economic development for our businesses. So Last week, we did have a Chamber of Commerce event. I know you've had a couple in On Sound, very informative. There's one tonight in Meaford, and if you have a chance, please listen, because it's good for businesses and customers. So that was good to help our businesses. We're also, we have a coupon gift program, which is going very well. Supporting local businesses. What they need right now is cash. They need money, right? An infusion of cash to help them get through this period. So we've done some social media themed events that are promoting our businesses. Our website, of course, has the COVID-19, you know, the big square box that everybody clicks on, and there's all kinds of resources on there. And I recommend everybody go on the Grey Bruce Public Health Unit website. There's lots of frequently asked questions which help people. Just recently, I had a gentleman ask me if he could walk through our soccer fields to go fishing. Right, because our parks and playgrounds are closed, just like everyone else, but you can walk through. It's a walkway to get from A to B. So he was quite happy when I told him, yes, you can walk through, and happy fishing, good luck, right? So, what we find is difficult is communication, trying to get the word out to everyone. So we use every source we can, letters to the editor, something like this, which is wonderful. Thank you, Rogers, and thank you, Carol. We also use newsletters. We are actually mailing to every household in Hanover. We found that people, although you can put everything on social media, Facebook, Twitter, people like to refer to a hard copy. And we've received huge, good comments from people saying, thank you very much for listing when the grocery stores are open and what their hours and when the seniors can go and which business is open for takeout, and, you know, just little things that people can't find that information out. Even though you think people are on the internet, they may be, but that stuff is rolling through so fast on Facebook and Twitter, it's hard to keep up with it. So you have to be really serious to try and find out that information. And I always say, you know what, you can email me, you can call me anytime.
Yeah. I have I want to go back to the coupon thing. I mean, I'm not a retail big shopper, but I am missing a little retail therapy. Tell me a bit about the coupon event that you're having to support the businesses.
So you can purchase like a gift certificate, a coupon for a specific business. If you go on our website and check through who's listed, you can purchase that in different increments, and we will give you 20% off on that coupon. So that's the incentive, to get you to purchase a coupon and to support that business. And there's three partners in this group. There's the Town of Hanover, the Chamber of Commerce, the DIA, and I should include our Community Improvement Partnership, which is designed specifically to keep these groups working together. It's their initiative. The community, we call it SIP. Community Improvement Partnership. So they are there for the businesses, to bring people here and to keep the businesses operating.
Excellent. Now I'm aware of what that coupon is. What about the crime rate? Are you noticing any change?
Actually, crime is down in Hanover. We're pleased because there's less traffic coming into town. There's less traffic accidents. There's less shoplifting because the stores aren't all open, which I didn't think of that one. And people that are taken into custody are a little concerned about going to jail with COVID-19. So that message is getting out there. So, and we also started up again our police bike patrol unit. So they patrol our trails, our parks, and our downtown. So that's really good because they're checking the businesses while they're going downtown. They're out at night, not always on a bike at night, but they are out. They're checking for suspicious people or anything different. And I do recommend, and the chief of police recommends it, Any businesses that are closed, make sure your alarms are working. Check, leave a light on and check often. Like, just don't leave it shut. You need to make sure that you don't have any money, like if your windows are open and the light, like not open, if there's no curtains or blinds and that's open to see in and there's a light, the police can see when they're walking by that nothing is happening inside, right? So
yeah, good advice.
Yes.
We're moving into hopefully warmer weather soon, and there's been a lot of discussion about cottages, access to camping, campgrounds. What can you say about that? People are getting desperate for a change in scenery and to just get out of town.
So Hanover's fortunate in one way. We are small enough that we don't have any camping. There is no camping in our 10 square kilometers. We're, 35, 40 minutes from a beach. And right now at this time, I would recommend that people just stay home and hunker down. We got to get through this. Wouldn't it be awful if we had that second wave and we had to go through this again? Like, we're going to have to sacrifice right now so we can come out at the end in a better position. So, we had discussion fireworks for this weekend. We're still keeping our fireworks ban on. We are the last people to lift our fire ban, and that will be happening for the long weekend. But we're keeping the fireworks ban in place because people congregate. Yeah. And that's what we're trying to stop. And again, all I can say is physical distancing, whether you use a hockey stick or if you're going fishing and Dr. Era says keep 3 salmon lengths between you, that's good. Whatever it takes, and wash your hands and then continue to wash your hands.
Yeah. I know it's challenging for everyone. And there's always people who say, well, we haven't had the massive outbreak that other areas have, and they're more tempted to nudge at the rules. What would you say to people who around that?
Well, I'd like to say I think we don't have those outbreaks because we have been following the directives. Dr. Ian Era, his name is a household name now. As soon as you mention Dr. Era, people recognize it and they listen to him. He's very knowledgeable, thorough, he's methodical, and he's very calm and reassuring. Yeah. So, these people they know what they're doing. They have that knowledge, same as the provincial public health officials. And the Premier is very calm. He's reassuring. And all I can say is listen and follow those directives. Like I said, it's going to take time, but we only want to do this once. We don't want to do it again.
Good point. How are you finding and what is Hanover doing around unemployment and the fact that bills still have to be paid, taxes need to be paid? Do you have any initiatives or any assistance, or are there social services around food in the Hanover area?
Yeah, so the town itself has put in a grace period for taxes and water and wastewater, those bills and any accounts receivable. And we're going to look at that again in June because we'll have a better handle on things to see what's happening. And, we found with the jobs, some people are working and thank goodness for the owners, operators that are putting in those added extras to keep their staff safe. Yes. And, we're doing things where we've got the drive-bys, the police and fire and paramedics are driving like downtown. They're driving past our care centers and our seniors' homes and the hospitals to say thank you. Yes. So that's really important. So people know that, we want to thank them because they're putting their lives at risk. Yes. So we can live our lives. lives.
Yes.
They're going to work every day, and not just healthcare workers, but essential workers and anyone that does go to work every day. So thank you to all of them for doing their job so we can live our lives. And just, thank you for being there for us.
Yes, absolutely. Do you have a food bank in the Hanover area?
Yes, the Salvation Army Food Bank operates 2 days a week, and they also operate in Chesley too. So a very good operation they have going. Major Sterling Snellgrove is our major, and he does wonderful things. He's down to earth, just a really great person to speak to. In fact, I live near the Salvation Army Food Bank, and I get to see him quite often. And again, he's another one who's knowledgeable and understands what people are going through. And I don't know if people realize, until you've been in that position, how hard it is. It's difficult, to ask. It's difficult to ask for help.
Yeah. And this could happen to anyone.
Yes.
Anyone can walk the path, and I think as a community recognizing that there's ways to help and there's ways to support, for sure. So you have a food bank. Do you also have a way to give people to actually have meals prepared for people to take? Is that an option in Hanover as well?
We did.
Okay.
With the lockdown, we don't right now. So all the meals are coming through the Salvation Army Food Bank. There is the Holy Family Church also has the St. Vincent de Paul twice a month. You can access food through them. So yes, before lockdown, we had Light on Main Street with one of the churches, and they would serve about 125 people every Wednesday. Yeah. And come holidays, Christmas and Thanksgiving, they were up to 175, but a well-received program, and a lot of people donate, businesses will donate food to them, and they have 50 volunteers to put on that meal every Wednesday, and I give them credit because they're in and out every Wednesday, preparing on Tuesday to get it ready, serving on Wednesday, and then back again the following week. So kudos to them for doing that for our people.
Yeah. In this emergency situation, I think it shows the opportunity to be able to give and to support. What are you hearing, or do you have any particular story you want to share in the last few minutes of our program about something that's happened or someone has said something that really touched you?
Well, I can share personally, it would be best for everyone to have a routine. Do the same thing, get up at the same time, go to bed at the same time, find something you like during the day, or whether you have to do it or not, start a routine. And you know what, when you're watching that news on TV, sometimes your anxiety level rises. Mm-hmm. That's the time to step away from the TV, the news, the social media, wherever your information is coming in. Step away and call somebody or physical distance with your neighbor, and that will ground you. You need to know that you're not the only one in this. We're in it together, and sometimes it is overwhelming, but when you realize it's not just Hanover or Grey County or Ontario, this is a global pandemic that we have never seen or heard of, or, it was a generation before us, right?
Absolutely. Yes. Sue, I can't believe that the time has gone. I have so enjoyed talking to you. You take care of yourself, and thank you for being on the program. I want to also thank our viewing audience for joining us today to hear Mayor Sue Paterson from Hanover talk about Hanover and some of the success stories and how they're certainly dealing with COVID-19 in their community. Please join us again to learn more about services and programs available to you. Take care. Stay safe.